Have you ever woken up in the morning and felt that something was slightly off, yet impossible to name? You go through the motions of your day, walking the same streets, visiting the same places, encountering the same people, yet a subtle tension lingers beneath the surface of your awareness. It is as if reality itself has shifted just a fraction, and you are noticing the edges of a world you no longer completely recognize. These small details can feel like anomalies, glitches in the matrix so slight that you almost dismiss them. But what if these quiet inconsistencies are not random? What if they are indicators that your personal reality is slowly recalibrating around you? That the world you inhabit is subtly evolving in ways that you have yet to consciously perceive? This is the threshold of understanding the shifting veil of reality, the subtle process by which the universe reshapes itself around your perception and your consciousness. The Mandela effect has fascinated and perplexed people for decades. Yet it is only a small hint at a far more complex and dynamic process occurring beneath the surface of everyday life. Simple misremembered events or widely shared false memories point to the fact that our collective understanding of reality is not fixed, and that even the most seemingly concrete truths are subject to subtle reconfiguration. Beyond this phenomenon lies the possibility that your own perception is being quietly tuned to a new frequency. The world you experience today might be slightly different than the one you inhabited yesterday. Not in ways dramatic enough to trigger alarm, yet in ways profound enough to affect how you interpret events, process information, and navigate existence. The veil between your known reality and the evolving reality is thinner than you think, and the very act of noticing these subtle shifts can accelerate your awareness of the changes unfolding around you. Micro changes in our perception are often so subtle that they escape conscious notice. They appear as small glitches or brief moments of disorientation where nothing seems quite right. You might walk down a street that should feel familiar but sense an unusual pattern in the arrangement of objects, or experience an unexpected emotional resonance triggered by a place that you have visited countless times. These micro events are not hallucinations or signs of dysfunction, but the footprints of a reality that is fluid, a living tapestry that is continually woven by both your consciousness and the collective awareness of those around you. Everyday déjà vu episodes serve as indicators that your brain is detecting a temporal echo, a subtle hint that the timeline you're moving through has shifted ever so slightly. The mind perceives these moments intuitively, signaling that the parameters of reality are not fixed, and that your own neural wiring is capable of recognizing these delicate cues, even if your conscious mind has yet to catch up. In addition to these subtle glitches, the rapid evolution of technology is redefining how we experience reality. Algorithms curate our digital lives, presenting content tailored to our preferences, beliefs, and behaviors. Yet this personalization can create a filtered version of reality where certain truths are amplified and others diminished. The consequences of living in a digital mirror are profound, as our perception of what is real becomes influenced by constant exposure to tailored narratives. The emergence of deepfakes, hyper-realistic simulations, and artificially generated media challenges our ability to distinguish between authenticity and fabrication in ways that extend beyond the digital realm into our own memory and lived experience. The reality that our senses perceive is increasingly being co-authored by external forces, and the subtle recalibration of your personal reality occurs in the interplay between your consciousness and the continuously evolving environment. As these external factors shape your perception, your brain itself undergoes remarkable adaptation. In the face of unprecedented sensory input and overwhelming information streams, your neural pathways are rewiring to handle complexity and ambiguity. You begin to notice patterns and shifts that would have gone undetected in previous eras. Your attention spans may fluctuate, your memory may recall certain events differently, and your processing of causality may feel less linear. These changes are not flaws, they are evidence that your cognition is evolving in response to the fluid nature of modern experience, and that your perception of reality is a dynamic, emergent property rather than a static construct. The brain is becoming increasingly sensitive to subtle cues and is capable of intuitively mapping the contours of shift timelines, even before the conscious mind fully comprehends the transformation. In recognizing these micro-changes and understanding the brain's role in perceiving them, we arrive at the concept of embracing the unseen rather than resisting it. Instead of fearing the idea that your reality is unstable, you can learn to observe it with curiosity and intentionality. By developing heightened awareness and practicing mindful attention, you can navigate the subtle shifts with confidence and grace. The quiet anomalies you notice each day become markers of opportunity, guiding you toward deeper self-understanding and greater attunement with the forces shaping your existence. The unfolding reality is not an adversary. It is a dynamic field waiting for your conscious participation, and your ability to integrate these subtle changes can transform the ordinary into a rich and interconnected experience that resonates with both your inner world and the collective consciousness. The practical implications of embracing a shifting reality extend into everyday life. From the smallest interactions with others to the most significant choices you make, your awareness of subtle temporal, perceptual shifts influences how you respond to circumstances and how you cultivate alignment with the path that your consciousness is tracing. Each observation of a microchange is a tool for navigating life with greater precision and presence. The ability to discern nuances in memory, perception, and environment empowers you to co-create experiences rather than simply react to them. The subtle recognition of a new reality allows you to act from a state of coherence, aligning thought, intention, and action with the evolving nature of existence. In a broader sense, your personal reality is all entwined with the collective reality. The shifts you perceive in the minute details of daily life are echoes of larger transformations occurring across societies, cultures, and technological systems. The feedback loop between individual perception and collective evolution is subtle yet powerful, as attention and awareness contribute to shaping the fabric of reality itself. By cultivating mindfulness and sensitivity to the micro shifts, you not only enhance your personal experience, but also participate in the collective recalibration of what is considered normal or possible. Interconnectedness highlights the profound significance of small moments that might otherwise be dismissed as coincidences or mental lapses. Observing these subtle realities also invites a philosophical reflection on identity, consciousness, and the very nature of existence. The notion that reality is fluid challenges the deeply ingrained belief that the world is fixed, predictable, and external. The mind is forced to reconcile with the idea that perception is a co-creative act that interacts dynamically with the environment, and that every thought, observation, and choice participates in shaping is experienced as real. This realization fosters a sense of empowerment, as well as humility, acknowledging both your agency in influencing reality and the vast complexity that exceeds individual understanding. The process of noticing and integrating micro shifts becomes a pathway to personal evolution and expanded awareness that transcends conventional interpretations of time, space, and causality. Beyond philosophical implications, there are practical strategies to attune to a shifting reality. Mindful observation, deliberate reflection, and journaling allow you to record anomalies and sub-patterns in your perception, creating rituals that heighten sensory awareness, such as meditation, walking in nature, or focused attention on environmental details, enhances your ability to detect subtle temporal and perceptual shifts. Engaging in dialogue with others who have noticed similar changes cultivates a shared awareness and validates your experiences, while expanding the framework through which you interpret reality. These practices are not merely speculative exercises, but concrete methods for enhancing perceptual acuity and embracing a fluid, dynamic experience of life. The experience of reality shifting is deeply intertwined with emotional perception and psychological flexibility. Becoming aware of subtle changes requires openness to uncertainty and the willingness to release attachment to fixed narratives of self and world. Emotions act as a feedback system, signaling when perceptual dissonance arises and guiding attention toward aspects of reality that require integration. The cultivation of emotional resilience and curiosity transforms moments of disorientation into opportunities for growth, insight, and adaptive learning rather than fear or confusion. The subtle awareness of shifting timelines thus serves as both a cognitive and emotional training ground for expanded consciousness. In exploring the digital mirror that reflects and subtly shapes reality, it is also essential to cultivate discernment, awareness of algorithmic influence, media fabrication. Social conditioning allows you to differentiate between external manipulations and genuine perceptual shifts arising from your consciousness. This discernment is a skill that empowers autonomy and fosters clarity in navigating complex environments. It also encourages ethical reflection on how you participate in shaping collective realities, acknowledging that your attention and intention contribute to reinforcing or transforming shared experiences. The subtle recalibration of reality also resonates with quantum principles that suggest observation influences outcome. The micro changes you notice are akin to a quantum feedback loop, where consciousness and material experience interact in a dynamic process. Each observation reinforces certain probabilities, while diminishing others, and your awareness acts as a stabilizing force, guiding reality toward coherent expression. This perspective transforms the act of noticing from a passive experience into an active participatory role, where consciousness and reality engage in ongoing co-creation, highlighting the profound agency inherent in the seemingly mundane moments of daily life. As your perceptual sensitivity expands, you begin to notice patterns in temporal shifts, synchronicities, and the interplay of cause and effect that previously went undetected. These patterns serve as guideposts, providing orientation in a reality that is increasingly fluid. Each micro-change carries potential insights, suggesting pathways for evolution, decision-making, and alignment with the trajectory of your own consciousness. The cumulative effect of these observations fosters a heightened sense of presence, awareness, and responsiveness, enabling you to navigate the evolving landscape of reality with confidence, clarity, and intentionality. This heightened awareness of subtle shifts also cultivates a deepened connection with the self and the external environment. Your perception becomes a tool for tuning into energy fields, social dynamics, and environmental cues, allowing you to respond more effectively to emerging possibilities and challenges. The interplay between consciousness and reality underscores the principle that perception is not passive, but an active component in shaping the unfolding experience of life, and that by attuning to these micro shifts, you become an intentional participant in the ongoing evolution of your personal and collective reality. As you begin to recognize the subtle glitches and anomalies in your everyday perception, you start to notice that reality is not a static stage upon which life merely unfolds, but a dynamic and participatory experience where your consciousness is actively involved in co-creating the landscape around you. These moments when something feels slightly off, when a memory seems altered, or when the environment behaves in ways that defy expectation, are not random. They are quiet invitations from the universe to awaken to the fluid nature of existence. Each time you pause and observe a micro-change, you are effectively tuning into the vibrations of reality itself, picking up on the nuances that previously passed unnoticed. This awareness creates a resonance, a subtle energetic alignment with the shifts occurring both within and around you. In recognizing these patterns, you begin to understand that what we commonly call reality is not a singular immutable entity, but a layered and evolving tapestry that responds to the focus, intention, and perception of the conscious. The brain itself plays a central role in perceiving these subtle shifts. Neuroscience is beginning to reveal how neural plasticity allows the brain to rewire in response to new experiences and altered patterns of perception. When you encounter a slight discrepancy in your environment or memory, your mind activates processes designed to reconcile this new information with existing cognitive frameworks. This rewiring is not merely a passive adaptation, it is an active restructuring that allows you to navigate a reality that is increasingly dynamic and multidimensional. The experience of micro-shifts, subtle déjà vu moments, or faintly altered environments engages the brain in a process that strengthens awareness, enhances adaptability, and refines the ability to perceive nuanced layers of temporal and spatial complexity. Each perceived shift is both a reflection of an evolving timeline and a catalyst for neural expansion, enabling your consciousness to map reality with greater fidelity and precision. Simultaneously, these experiences are mirrored in your emotional perception. The subtle discomfort or sense of curiosity you feel when something feels off is your intuitive mind signaling that there is a discrepancy between expectation and reality. Emotional responses are an integral part of the process of perceiving shifting timelines. They provide immediate feedback, highlighting areas where your consciousness is interacting with an altered environment or where perception is being recalibrated. Instead of dismissing these feelings, you can approach them as indicators of change,
and opportunities for reflection. By observing your emotional responses without judgment and tracing them back to the subtle environmental or temporal cues that triggered them, you begin to develop an intimate understanding of your role in co-creating reality. Emotions become a compass guiding your awareness through the fluid landscape of evolving experience. The interaction between perception and environment is further influenced by the digital world that increasingly surrounds us. Personalized content algorithms, social media feeds, and immersive simulations create a layer of reality that is selectively curated to influence thoughts, beliefs, and behavior. This digital layer does not merely provide information, it shapes perception and subtly guides cognitive and emotional responses. Deepfakes, synthetic media, and virtual realities blur the line between what is authentic and what is fabricated. In this context, micro-changes in perception can be both internal and external phenomena, arising from shifts in neural processing, as well as from interactions with digitally mediated environment. Developing discernment in navigating these layers of reality allows you to differentiate between changes originating from your consciousness and those influenced by external manipulation. This discernment fosters autonomy, strengthens perceptual acuity, and empowers you to participate consciously in shaping the reality you inhabit. The concept of shifting timelines is closely intertwined with quantum principles. Just as quantum particles exist in a state of probability, until observed, your personal reality can be seen as a spectrum of potentialities, influenced by attention and intention. Each act of observation collapses these probabilities into a specific experience. Microshifts are akin to subtle indicators that certain potentialities are coming into alignment while others recede. Your consciousness functions as an observer and as a co-creator, collapsing probability fields into concrete experiences through attention, focus, and emotional resonance. This framework reframes the anomalies, glitches, and altered memories you notice as evidence of a participatory reality, where your awareness plays an active role in determining which possibilities manifest. Reality becomes not just something you witness, but something you consciously shape through your perception, intention, and energetic alignment. As you engage more deeply with these subtle shifts, you may begin to notice patterns emerging across time and experience. Certain events may recur with variations, familiar places may feel charged with unexpected significance, and encounters with others may seem synchronistic in ways that defy ordinary explanation. These patterns are indicators that your consciousness is tracking the subtle recalibration of your timeline, picking up on harmonics that reveal deeper layers of temporal and experiential structure. By documenting and reflecting on these patterns through journaling, mindful observation, or meditative practices, you cultivate an ability to navigate reality with intentionality rather than passivity. The act of noticing becomes a skill that enhances both awareness and agency, allowing you to respond to shifts with clarity and alignment rather than confusion or resistance. The perception of micro-changes also opens the door to exploring collective shifts in consciousness. While your personal reality is shaped by your own attention and awareness, it is also interwoven with the shared consciousness of the world around you. Cultural shifts, technological evolution, and social dynamics all influence the collective perception of reality. When many individuals notice subtle discrepancies or altered experiences, a larger pattern emerges, a collective recalibration of what is accepted as real or possible. Your personal recognition of subtle shifts is therefore both a reflection of and a contribution to the evolving consciousness of the collective. This interconnection emphasizes that while the experience of shifting timelines may feel personal and isolated, it is part of a broader interplay between individual perception and collective evolution. Embracing the unseen also requires cultivating resilience and adaptability. The realization that reality is fluid can provoke fear or uncertainty if approached with resistance. Instead, adopting curiosity and openness transforms potential anxiety into a tool for growth. Mindful awareness, reflection, and self-inquiry allow you to integrate subtle shifts in perception into a coherent understanding of your evolving reality. Emotional resilience enables you to navigate uncertainty with balance, transforming moments of disorientation into opportunities for insight and alignment. By embracing the fluidity of your personal timeline, and consciously observing the micro-changes, you cultivate a state of coherence that stabilizes both perception and experience. This practice enhances clarity, intuition, and the capacity to act in alignment with the emerging realities you inhabit. The subtleties of these shifts also encourage a deeper understanding of memory and perception. Memory is not a static record of events, it is a dynamic reconstruction shaped by attention, context, and expectation. Subtle discrepancies you notice between past recollection and present experience may reflect not just external changes in reality, but also the malleable nature of memory itself. The brain constantly updates its internal models of the world, reconciling new sensory input with past knowledge. When timelines shift, the cognitive system must adapt, integrating subtle changes while maintaining functional coherence. This process highlights the interplay between perception, memory, and reality, and reveals the profound capacity of the mind to perceive and adapt to dynamic environments that extend beyond ordinary linear time. Furthermore, your evolving perception can have tangible effects on your daily life and personal growth. As you become attuned to microshifts, you enhance your ability to make decisions that align with your evolving timeline and higher potential. Awareness of subtle changes empowers you to recognize opportunities, navigate challenges, and respond creatively to unforeseen circumstances. By observing reality with heightened sensitivity, you cultivate a form of intuition grounded in experience and observation. This intuitive awareness allows you to anticipate outcomes, recognize synchronicities, and engage with reality in a participatory and co-creative manner, deepening both self-knowledge and alignment with the unfolding patterns of your personal and collective experience. Practical strategies for attuning to shifting timelines include mindfulness, reflective journaling, and meditative observation. Mindfulness trains your awareness to notice subtle shifts in sensory input, emotion, and cognition. Journaling allows you to document discrepancies, patterns, and anomalies that may indicate shifts in timelines or perception. Meditative practices create a receptive mental state for perceiving subtle temporal and spatial harmony. These techniques not only enhance perceptual acuity, but also strengthen the coherence of your consciousness, creating a stable inner framework that supports engagement with an evolving and dynamic reality. By integrating these practices into daily life, you cultivate a refined awareness capable of perceiving and responding to subtle shifts with confidence and intentionality. The experience of shifting timelines also invites reflection on identity and self-concept. As reality evolves around you, the familiar narrative of self may be challenged. Moments of dissonance can reveal aspects of identity previously unnoticed, encouraging exploration of hidden potentials and latent capacity. By embracing these subtle disruptions with openness, you gain insight into the flexible and evolving nature of consciousness itself. Identity becomes not a fixed construct, but an adaptive and responsive system capable of integrating new information, experiences, and perspective. This flexibility allows you to navigate shifting timelines with grace and creativity, transforming challenges into opportunities for growth and transformation. The exploration of microshifts and evolving realities also highlights the interplay between observation and manifestation. Just as quantum systems respond to observation, the attention you give to subtle changes influences how those shifts unfold. By consciously acknowledging and engaging with anomalies, memory discrepancies, and intuitive cues, you participate in shaping the trajectory of your personal and collective reality. The act of noticing is both a reflection of awareness and a mechanism for influencing the unfolding experience. This perspective empowers you to see reality as an interactive canvas where perception, intention, and attention contribute to the co-creation of experience. The daily micro-changes that you notice are threads in a vast tapestry that stretches beyond linear time and conventional perception. Each seemingly minor glitch or anomaly is a signal pointing toward a larger truth about the nature of existence. That reality is a dynamic interplay of perception, awareness, and energetic resonance. By observing these threads with intention and curiosity, you gain insight into the underlying structure of your personal timeline and how it intersects with the timelines of others around you. This awareness fosters a sense of agency and responsibility, because the reality you perceive is both a reflection and a response to your conscious engagement. It becomes increasingly clear that shifting timelines are not accidental or random, but are part of a natural process of adaptation and evolution that your consciousness participates in each day. The process of recognizing these shifts often begins with small moments of disorientation or surprise. Perhaps a street you thought familiar appears slightly altered, or a conversation unfolds in an unexpected way that challenges your memory. These moments, though subtle, are profoundly significant because they indicate that your perception of reality is flexible and responsive to changes in energetic alignment and attention. Neuroscience supports this by showing that the brain is continuously reconstructing memory and experience based on sensory input and internal models. When your environment subtly changes or your perception detects discrepancies, the brain engages in a process of reconciliation and reconfiguration that can alter both your subjective experience and your cognitive pattern. This process is not merely reactive, it is a creative and adaptive function of consciousness, allowing you to navigate and thrive in a reality that is both dynamic and multi-layered. Your emotional responses to these subtle shifts also carry critical information about your interaction with reality. Moments of unease, curiosity, or fascination are not arbitrary, but are signals that your consciousness is detecting a change in the coherence of the timeline you inhabit. These emotions provide real-time feedback about the alignment between expectation and experience, and serve as a guide for navigating the evolving landscape of your perception. By paying close attention to these responses, you cultivate an intuitive awareness that allows you to act with clarity and discernment. Emotional attunement becomes a tool for recognizing subtle shifts and understanding their implications for your personal growth and decision-making. Over time, this practice strengthens your ability to perceive patterns and harmonics within your own consciousness and in the environments you inhabit. The influence of the digital landscape on your perception of reality cannot be overstated. Social media algorithms, content curation, and immersive digital experiences create a layered and mediated reality that can steadily shape beliefs, behaviors, and even memory. Personalized feeds reinforce certain cognitive and emotional patterns, making familiar experiences feel altered when compared to past recollection. Deepfakes, hyper-realistic simulations, and synthetic media further blur the lines between the tangible and the constructed, altering your ability to discern authenticity. By becoming aware of these influences, you gain the power to navigate both physical and digital reality with greater precision. Recognizing the subtle ways external environments affect perception allows you to differentiate between shifts arising from your own consciousness and those introduced by technological mediation, creating a space for conscious engagement rather than passive absorption. Quantum principles offer a fascinating lens through which to understand these phenomena. In quantum physics, observation collapses probability waves into a specific state, and this principle can be extended metaphorically to the way consciousness interacts with reality. Your attention, intention, and focus act as instruments that collapse multiple potential timelines into a single experience. Microshifts or subtle indications that certain potentiality or coming into alignment with your observation, while others receive. By consciously observing anomalies and discrepancies, you are not only witnessing these shifts, but actively participating in the manifestation of your personal timeline. This perspective redefines the nature of reality, from a static backdrop to a responsive field in which consciousness plays an integral role. Understanding this interplay encourages deliberate engagement with each moment and cultivates a sense of responsibility for the co-creation of your lived experience. Patterns emerging from subtle shifts often reveal deeper structures within your perception in the fabric of reality itself. Recurrent motifs, synchronistic encounters in familiar places with unexpected significance are not random coincidences, but reflections of underlying temporal harmonics. By observing and documenting these patterns through journaling, meditation, or reflective inquiry, you enhance your ability to navigate in reality with awareness and intention. Recognizing these patterns provides insight into the mechanisms by which consciousness perceives, organizes, and interacts with temporal and spatial structure. This process allows you to detect emergent trends in harmonics that might otherwise remain hidden, offering opportunities to align more fully with the evolving trajectory of your personal and collective experience.